Hey, good afternoon, Rob. Back in 1989, the movie Back to the Future 2 predicted the Cubbies would win the World Series this very year. Few could have predicted the start to the White Sox season. On the other hand, we asked one big question to both fan bases.
Peanut, peanut, peanut.
On the edge of baseball's midseason,
Peanut, sunflower seed.
there are signs of success and forms of failure, both written and spoken.
How's my team?
We asked fans of the North and South Sides one big baseball question.
How's your team?
Next question.
My team is all right now.
They're not very good.
Do I have to be honest?
I don't know why. They're not very good.
Bragging rights and city pride isn't something you can hang on a flagpole, but it is something that can uplift a Sox season spent in the basement of the standings.
Oh, so excited.
Anything better for me, that's it.
I'm confident the Sox will pull it off.
For the Cubs, this series could be part of a defining moment
Let's go, Cubbies!
marked in movie history.
2015 Back to the Future said it. It's the Cubbies' year.
The Back to the Future movie, it does a movie. It's not a fiction, sorry.
People are saying we're preparing for the future. The future is now, right here.
They're kind of annoying. No.
I like both teams.
I love both teams, but I love the Cubs more.
They're good. Cubbies fans are good. I like them. I wish they'd win a World Series.
Hundreds of thousands line the streets off King Drive.
September 8th, don't be late, back to school.
They celebrate the upcoming school year.
Hot dogs, $1.
They focus on food and fun.
Everybody clap your hands.
But there are times Tamika Clemens is reminded about a family friend marching with a heavy heart.
By me having kids and knowing some of the people that lost their kids is very touching.
It tore me up from the knees on up. And I'm just here to support my son.
Amari Brown, that was kind of touching. I knew his father.
That father, Antonio Brown, walks for his son. 7-year-old Amari was shot and killed July 4th. Police say the gunfire was gang-related. His dad was the target.
For a 7-year-old to lose his life like that was very touching.
What age should parents be talking to their kids about staying away from guns?
Since birth.
You got to start while they're young.
The Chicago Police Department says as of last month, they have taken more than 4,200 firearms off the streets. That is the equivalent of one recovered every 80 minutes.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is shocking.
It is.
I want my kids to bury me. I don't want to bury my kids.
Any message you would send to parents out there?
Love y'all kids. Come closer to y'all kids.
I don't want to lose my kids to gun violence.
In a sea of celebration, one family's march goes against the current, but the meaning makes an impact. The question is, for how long?
Our youth need more than just this parade to get them a different outlook on life.
On the parade's website, you'll find a message from President Barack Obama. He is putting out the call to all community, city leaders, parents, as well as young adults to combat what he referred to as the epidemic of violence. The kind of physics forcing waves onto Porter Beach are responsible for divers scouring the water in search of 20-year-old Chase Froese. Deputy Fire Chief Jake Crank was one of a handful trying to save her.
I experienced water conditions on the lake that I had never seen or experienced before.
A rip current situation is what caused this incident.
It felt like somebody was actually physically pulling on my shorts trying to pull me out.
They can just pop up sometimes.
And I could feel the sand disappearing below my feet as that current was pulling on it.
Around 7 Friday night, helicopters searched the water's surface. First responders rushed to the area where 3 people struggled in the water. Good Samaritans saved 2, but Froese never surfaced. Since then, choppy water conditions have hurt the efforts made by sonar and video to find her as a family copes with the crisis.
They're very faithful people, and that's helping them through this situation a lot.
The 20-year-old, described by friends as an avid rock climber, world traveler, and free spirit, recently visiting Rome. A junior who was heading back home at the time to Grand Rapids, where she attended Calvin College. Now a family's heartbreaking focus is finding a loved one somewhere in the waters of Lake Michigan.
It's very stressful. The family's doing about as well as we can expect.
And there are already concerns there could be weather issues tomorrow. Crews, of course, monitoring that hour by hour. Their advice, if you're concerned about going in Lake Michigan, if you plan on going in more than waist deep, make sure to wear a life jacket. It sounds like a Jennifer Hudson concert.
I dream big.
It feels like a performance by Common, but it's not.
Kids want to help. One heart with courage is a majority.
We Day is because kids are giving back.
We Day is a patchwork of corporately supported stories and songs stitched together by threads of inspiration.
I've gone on to overcome bullying, graduate from college.
Kids from more than 600 schools from across Illinois took part in the event, embraced by stars like Jennifer Hudson.
You don't have a Hudson hug for me?
Of course I have a Hudson hug for you. Come here. It may be co-hosted by Selena Gomez, but we co-produced her hair. You have a little thing in your hair there.
Grab it.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Want to make sure. Okay.
You can add hair and makeup to your resume.
Students attended free, but had to take part in acts of service like fundraising for foreign developing communities to helping out at a food pantry.
It makes me want to volunteer, to say things, to do things, and to make changes.
You think the feeling you have will last a year, 2 years?
This will last for a lifetime.
Can I get a Hudson hug?
Sure. Let's
Bring it in. Bring it in. Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News.
Jeremy had a pretty good me day on We Day, didn't he? No doubt.
That's a great point. A receding but still swollen Kankakee River is a sight for some.
Wild.
A churning eyesore for others.
My one friend had to totally leave her home.
It was right here. That's how far up it came.
The water impacts hundreds of homes, at one time claiming this area's pavement and threatening to claim Judy Francor's balance.
Whoa, see how slippery everything is?
The flood nearly crept into her house. Something else is now threatening to do that.
Mosquitoes and whatever, yeah, the smell out and, you know.
Trying to clean it up, I'm still getting some seepage in here and stuff. And
Jim Scott's basement is damaged and hosting a health hazard.
past few days, I've gotten mold now. It's black mold.
He's trying to dry it out, but needs assistance from Mother Nature.
And right now it's sprinkling.
And she hasn't helped.
It's starting to, well, you know, that's nature.
It's something out of the ordinary, something we don't see all the time.
As floodwaters recede, concerns about drinking water here continue. Neighbors here have well water and they're drinking bottled water as a precaution. Back at Chicago's Navy Pier, the fireworks only lasted about 15 minutes. They were a hit. Even before the first sparks flew, families were having fun at the state's #1 tourist attraction, and security was tight. Before the rocket's red glare, before the brilliant show in the air.
You don't have any weapons of any kind?
Many had to grin and bear.
Good to go.
Security bag checks. Chicago police and other law enforcement paced the pier, helping to ensure safety during a time of heightened terror concerns.
Part of the environment, no problem at all.
Walk around, get on rides.
Some soared through the air, but most selected what ground to rest, watch the fireworks on.
We've pretty much been sitting in this place the whole time.
I work hard for the money.
That work began for Shamika Granville and family more than 9 hours before the fireworks.
Give me fast, son.
They arrived early to secure this spot.
Be there to keep it.
Family plays cards to pass time while others compete to keep the best seats.
Well, she winning right now, but I'm in for revenge.
The more the merrier. Everybody wanted to enjoy the fireworks.
Most walked in to see the show in the sky and walked out with memories, adding,
Happy 4th of July.
We're celebrating our freedom.
This is an amazing city. It has a lot to offer.
Pier closed its gates around 8 last night, and when it reached capacity, no official word yet on the size of the crowd, but it was estimated at about 125,000 throughout the day.
The view is fantastic. The view is of downtown Chicago.
After the rush, a rush hour.
Yeah, always running around, always working through traffic.
Daisy Arashiba settles into his 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath apartment. The comic actor and musician calls this home and home office for,
7 years?
But this year he discovered his nest.
Was that a falcon?
Expanded, unexpectedly.
Well, I'm sure you know the Chicago Housing Authority's like, that's not a legal bedroom out there in the balcony.
Part of his 28th floor Lakeview apartment was taken over by a pair of squawky squatters.
When they get together, they become kind of the Bickersons. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I've been flying around hunting things. What do you got? I got something. I just killed it. You want to eat some? Sure. You know.
Peregrine falcons are a bird of prey traditionally nesting in places like barren cliff faces.
And I happen to have empty window boxes because I'm a terrible gardener.
He branded the birds after famous musicians.
Steve and Linda, because Perry, Steve Perry and Linda Perry.
Eventually discovering his new neighbors made more than music.
And there are 4 chicks. There's Luke Perry, Katy Perry, Joe Perry, and because it's Chicago, Refrigerator Perry.
The birds are federally protected, so it is against the law to move the nest. Arshiba has limited access to his balcony for about another month. That's when this feathered family could say farewell.
Chicks that have been born here have ended up as far away as Ecuador.
For now, the hum of traffic is part of the lullaby for 4 newborns. The Windy City providing a perch and one man providing the rent for some temporary tenants.
So there they are. Unfortunately, I'm okay with it.
Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News. They wait like groupies outside a hotel for a kind of rock star with 4 paws and a tail, whose traveling tail leads through Chicago.
He's just celebrity.
He's been on TV, I don't know how many times.
Everyone loves Poe.
Are they all waiting here?
The dozens gathered never met each other.
Thank you guys for coming out.
But Thomas Neil Rodriguez knows them. They're followers of his dog Poe from his Instagram account, Poe the Dog's Big Adventure. The lab mix, named after author Edgar Allan Poe, shares his road trips with about 118,000 followers, making recent stops at Michael Jackson's childhood home, Millennium Park, and Navy Pier. It is all part of his big journey.
Because I don't know how much time I have with him.
Sadly, that journey is coming to an end.
He's in renal failure.
It's sad to see.
He does have a bunch of tumors.
I know he has a lot of bad days.
They're like time bombs. Yeah. So he could last a year, he could last 2 days.
Rodriguez and his fiancée are spending those final moments traveling the nation with a shelter dog they adopted as an 8-week-old puppy. It is sometimes difficult to watch the now 15-year-old. He needs help getting around, travels in a cart, and requires near round-the-clock care.
You're a good boy.
Some question if this is best for the dog, but others meeting Poe and his family in person come to a different conclusion.
The love that they provide for him, it's unconditional.
It's financially, spiritually, like emotionally taxing. This is our therapy. And when, unfortunately, the day he's not around, like I can remember this.
They don't know when Poe's adventure will end, but they'll enjoy what time remains, sharing it with thousands moved by his life and lessons learned on the road.
He's living every day, and he kind of tells me I should do that too.
Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News.
Thank God, can't trust these feet.
Drawn to a formidable facade, dozens hang by their fingers and feet.
Bug that gets every climber is
people craving adrenaline and pulling away from the pull of gravity.
this addiction to like be off the ground.
But one man at Chicago's Brooklyn Boulders is cheating gravity in a way not many can believe.
He's an incredibly strong climber, like one of the strongest I've seen.
You clip the left one.
One of the things you'll notice about Julian Juju Gask
Merci.
is his French accent.
I mean, thanks.
The other thing is what he's wearing on his leg.
So I just have to undo these things. Then I cut an opening here so I could fit in.
Cancer's grip latched onto the soft tissue in his right foot. It needed to be removed.
There was also a part of me that was like, why me? It's so unfair. I need my foot to climb.
The man with a passion for climbing eventually approached rounds of chemotherapy, like he approaches scaling a surface.
Just grab the next hold. Keep moving forward.
Insurance paid for treatments, a walking prosthesis, but not a leg he can use for climbing.
By now, it just defines who I am.
In an effort to keep cancer from claiming both his foot and his identity, he made his own climbing foot.
Nailed it here.
A collection of duct tape, shoe parts, plastic, and wood provides a temporary solution. Friends convinced him to set up a GoFundMe webpage. The goal, to raise a couple $1,000s for a more permanent and professionally made prosthetic, donating nearly $8,000.
It's a great feeling.
Julian Gask proves perseverance comes in all forms. Sometimes you only need to look up to find it. Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News. We downloaded a free noise measuring application. Out here, the noise outside, my voice, it picks up at anywhere between 60 to 70 decibels. When planes fly overhead, that increases to somewhere between 90 to 100 decibels. It is by no means a true scientific measure, but the difference is keeping neighbors up at night.
We live a beautiful life here.
But some in Itasca say that's only possible with the volume turned off.
It's louder than the loudest train you could hear.
It sounds like an air show. It's more like
It's just continuous.
The mayor's mother, Nancy Prine, kept a list.
250-10, 252.
She recalls hearing a plane's flight path from O'Hare about every 2 minutes.
It was never as bad as it is right now.
You cannot sit outside on the front of your house, in the back of your house, and have a conversation. Here, look at where that is.
This week, the FAA declined a request to hold additional hearings, saying their initial evaluation, including noise assessment, was comprehensive, but adds they are reevaluating a portion of the airport build-out because one runway is being constructed in a different order than first anticipated. Lawmakers like Congressman Mike Quigley are working
to pressure the FAA to hold hearings, to alternate the use of runways in the short term.
That could mean less air traffic overhead, less noise overheard.
Having a hard time talking on the phone.
Now you can't even watch TV.
Even with the windows closed, it's difficult.
I lost my job at the end of 2012.
In the final moments of busy holiday shopping, it is possible to miss Brian and his dog Blue.
Oh, big boy, there you go.
Like many others panhandling, they rely on the kindness of strangers.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
And as night begins to close out the season of sales and shopping,
Ho, ho, ho.
Richard McNeil and his sister are bringing the last-minute shopping to those less fortunate.
What's up, boss man? You need anything?
He gives out food and water.
Got it? Yeah. Good.
For those asking for help, there is clothing.
I've got some pants.
His bag is full of his own clothes and others donated by friends. He has used his own cash to buy strangers food.
Need a sandwich, some water.
What he asks for in return
Shake my hand, boss.
costs only a smile and a greeting.
Give me some. Bless you, man.
If you asked why he's spending his own money and time outside when so many are inside a shopping store,
Just hit me like, why not be a blessing before Christmas?
holiday inspiration unwrapped and delivered on the streets of Chicago.
So many times we have our hands out instead of giving someone something.
The brother and sister tell me that they asked for donations through social media and they plan to do the exact same thing tomorrow. Live in the Loop, Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News.